All right, I want to show you how to digitize Redwork in Hatch, or my program's called Digitizer. They're the same thing. So there's several ways in most software, there's several ways to accomplish the same thing. One is to manually digitize it, and one is to use the automatic digitizing. The new Hatch actually has a Redwork tool, but Digitizer that I have does not have that. I've never used it, and I've never needed it. Now, you can do it manually by using a straight stitch and doing the regular digitize an open line. And I'm going to show you how to do it that way. And you can also do it automatically. Now, the automatic will, as with all automatic things, there will be some errors in it. You can expect that. The first thing you do is bring in a picture. I got this one off the internet. It's a nice Redwork design. It's sewn on. It shows it's sewn out, and you can see all of the design comes down here at the very bottom, which makes it pretty easy for doing this Redwork design. So if you go over here to the digitizer, you want the automatic auto digitize and click on center line. And then when you click on the picture, it will bring up this dialog box. And it shows you on the left is the original, and in the center is the present with a certain number of colors, most of which are background colors or shades of pink because of the red work. And you really don't need those. You could reduce it to pretty much two colors. You can manually click on these and it'll show you where they are in the picture, and you can see whether or not you want to keep them or combine them with another one. Like, for example, if I click all of these pink ones and then show where they are, it shows that they're all the colors in the pansy, and I can merge them. And that's one way of individually adding or deleting colors. Um, a lot of the other colors are going to be background colors, but by clicking on them and then clicking location, you can see where they are in the picture. Do you really need these? Uh, but for all intents and purposes, since this is Redwork, uh, you only have two colors, the background white and the red. So you could reduce it to just two colors. So I'm going to undo all of this and show you how you reduce it to two colors. Here at the bottom, I just put two in and click OK, and now I have two colors. And by clicking anything, holding my cursor over something, it will show me what areas those are. And clicking at as you see me bring the mouse over it, it gets this checkerboard pattern. That's the part that's selected. And you can see that a lot of them are combined in ways that you don't really want. Like those leaves will, some of the filter is there, some of it isn't, the ribbon, I mean. But as far as the red work is concerned, if I find a place here at the very bottom and click on it, and everything lights up like that, and I've click to center line because it will take, see, everything here is lit up. So I instantly now have red work. It will pick all of that, make the center line. That means between the two edges of each of those red lines, it makes the line in the center between it. So you get one line instead of two outside edge lines, which is what you would get if you say click to outline. So once you click it, all of this then is good to go. This is suddenly red work. Let me show you. What's going on here? Now, notice this also clicks, this also made the ribbon at the top Redwork as well. See here on the side, there's all the Redwork. It's all done as one single piece. It will sew everything that's there. But you notice there will also be, now that I selected it, and now I'm going to click a triple run line because I want those lines sewn. Usually you sew for Redwork, you sew the line twice. But by triple run line, it'll make 3 stitches in the line. It'll sew the line, but it'll make it a little bit thicker, which is what you want. So, but if you really look closely at it, you're going to find gaps in the picture. And that may not bother you. If you want just something quick and easy, that's not going to be a problem. It's going to go around those gaps, and if they're very small, you won't even notice them in the sew off. Now, if it leaves out a petal from the flower or a whole leaf, then you've got a problem. But everything is here. Those small gaps are not that noticeable, and you can correct them individually by going in and using the reshape button and moving a node to fill in a gap. But I'm turning it off, the background off, so that you can see better. I don't like the inside of the pansies. I would have liked them to be deeper, and you can see these small little gaps here and there. Again, if you manually digitize this, you would not have those problems. Manually takes a bit longer. I mean, this was done almost instantly. And if you're in a hurry, this is the way to go. But if you really want it done well and you want a nice design, you're going to have to do it manually. You can fix or rather, you can get a better quality Redwork design doing it automatically if you go in and Photoshop it first. Photo edit it, make sure you have enough DPS and enough pixels, high enough pixels that those lines are thick enough that they will show up. But if you don't want to go in and do any photoshopping, you just want an instant picture for something, and that happens. Sometimes we want a quick design, then that's the way to go. Now I'm going to back out of this, and I'm going to show you how to do it manually. Notice it put in this ribbons at the top and the bottom is Redwork, and I really don't want them as Redwork. I mean, if I wanted this whole picture as Redwork, that would be fine. But I want to do those ribbons as Filtier. And so I don't need the Redwork there. And deleting the Redwork once you've already digitized it in there is almost as hard as just doing it from scratch. So I'm going to show you how to do it from scratch. I'm going to bring up another picture. So here's another design, a rose design with the Filtier around the edge. And this I did do manually, and you'll notice there's no gaps in it. I did do the ribbons, the Filtier section, I did do that with the automatic digitizing, and I see a few mistakes in it. I'm probably going to go back and do them. It's very easy to do the Filtier manually. It didn't used to be. It used to be a pain in the neck to do because you had to go in and manually make sure all of your stitches were your needle points. But now, with so many updates since then, now they have motif fills that you can use where that's not a problem. So by turning on the needle points up here, you can see the dots in the center of each of these stitches. That's where the needle's going to go down. And with Filtier, it's going to punch a hole in each of those dots. And then the threads between it are going to pull those holes open. So it gives it a lacy look, but you only want the needle to go down where the dots are, not in between the dots, so that you get you get your holes exactly where you want them. And this particular motif, and they have a few others that will work um, well to make Filtier. So it's much easier now with Digitizer to do this, because you can get these you can use these motif fills, and you don't have to go in here and edit all of these. Used to be we'd have to go in and edit each of these stitch points, which we don't have to do anymore. So it's life is easier for the Digitizer. So and then it has usually Filtier has a satin stitch along the edge. That's just to strengthen the lacy part, because you have been cutting it with a needle. The wing needle, as I say, slices through it and makes a hole. So, and those holes are all pulled open by the other threads, and it does weaken that part of the fabric. So also, to make it look professional and nice, you want a satin stitch around the edges. So so that um I put the satin stitch around it as well. I'm pretty sure I did this part, both of them, using the automatic. And I can tell I did that with the automatic, because automatic digitizing, because there are some mistakes in it. And they're easy to fix, though. But also, Filtier is very easy to do manually without using the automatic. So let me back out of here, and I'll show you a section. We turn off the stitch points, and I'll show you one section up here at the top where there's definitely a mistake. So back to our pansies. So we're going to manually digitize this. And to manually digitize this, we're going to use the digitizing buttons on the left. Now, if you look at it, it has along the sides, everything meets, all the pansies in the center all meet at the bottom. And so do the two branches of flowers coming in from the sides. So let's do that first. The branches, because that one side is a mirror image of the other side, so that is very easy to do. The pansies in the center are going to be a little bit more complicated. So I'm going to pick a color that is not red, but it's dark enough that I can see it. And I'm going to go over the flower on the left side. Now, when I get to a section where something branches off, you need to make rules for yourself. And the rule that I use is I try to go all the way up to the end and then pick up the sides coming back. Because if you have nodes in the way, it will really confuse you. Have I done this or haven't I? Remember, you're going to hit everything twice. And going out, you're only hitting it once. So you're going to have to come back exactly the same way coming back. So as I get up to here, I can do this center of this leaf. I can back out of it. Now that part has been done twice. Now I can go left or right. I generally like to go on the outside. In this case, I went on the inside. But if you choose a direction like that, you should stick to it on throughout the rest of your design, because that you will remember that. So now I get to this point. Where am I going to go? I want to go back down the other side and back up to this point. So the left side will be done twice. when I get back to the area where the node I first met, I'm going to stop and go back up again. So this side of the leaf has been done twice. And actually, I would have probably been better to go all the way to the end and hit all of these coming back. You'll see what I'm talking about when I'm doing the pansy. So I'm doing the outside of this leaf, and because I did the right side of the lower leaf with one strand, and then I went double on the outside, I'm going to do that here as well. So I'm going to hit the center of this leaf and then come back down the outside edge and then go up the inside edge, so that when I'm coming back down this, I can remind myself on both of this whole side of this design, I need to follow the inside edge. That's my main path. All of these are just side paths. Wherever they touch the main path, you have to decide, should I do this now or should I do it later? If it joins somewhere else, do it later. So I'm going all the way up here. And I'm going to skip all these leaves and hit them coming back. Then, because that way you can see where you've been. And that's it always causes confusion if you can't see where you've been. So I've reached the filter section, so I'm going to stop here and start back. Now I hit the first leaf, and I'm going to go all the way around it and then come back. Remember, I want to hit everything twice. So this is the first go round. When I get to my main branch, I'm going to stop and go back. So that leaf now is done twice. And I'm backtracking along the trail that I left, following my breadcrumbs backwards, so that it will be done, everything will be done twice. So I'm following the track that I came out and going back. Every time I get to an offside branch, I'm going to go around it and come back. And it's really just a matter of digitizing, just a matter of following each of these lines. The first time you do it, you may get confused. Just remember, make yourself some rules. Like the rule that I have, which I broke right away, is that I always go follow the outside of the design to the very end and then hit everything coming back, unless it's something that can't be hit coming back. But most things can be. So each of these, so you go around a leaf and then you go back, you backtrack around it. And then you backtrack along. As I say, follow your breadcrumbs backwards. Now again, I did the left side of this leaf, so I need to do the right side. That's the side that I came up. And again, the left side of this leaf. And then I'm going to do the same thing with these leaves at the bottom as I did with the leaves at the top. Every time I reach a side branch, I'm going to go around it and come back. And again, because it's easier to see where you need to go if you haven't hit all of these going out. That's why I make a rule for myself to usually to go all the way to the end and then hit everything coming back. And you try to hit the nodes, the very same nodes that you hit coming in one direction. You try to hit them going back so that your thread lines are all on top of each other. They don't separate. There's small gaps. They won't be too noticeable, but you don't want large gaps. So you put as few nodes as you can to get the shape that you want, because you're going to need to hit them all again coming back. And you can see the nodes, especially if you get a little bit closer. If you hit something that you don't like, you can backtrack out of it by hitting the backspace button. Will take you backwards. Will undo nodes, delete them. All right, so I'm back where I started and click enter, and now that shows green and everything has been sewn twice. Now at this point, it's really easy to do the other side by simply, I'm going to come out so you can see it, and I'm going to copy it and paste it and then flip it, mirror it, and then using the arrow keys. The arrow keys keep it right exactly in the same plane, and just push it over till it lines up with the other side of the design. And then they're both done, at least the outside edges. Now I can't do mirroring in the center, but the outside was very easy to do. I skipped the lines that went with the fileteer because that'll be done afterwards. That'll be a separate lesson. All right, so now we need to work on the pansy. Now that can't be mirrored, and but again, I'm going to start here at the bottom. That's where everything comes together. And I should follow the outside line, but you'll notice almost right away I break that rule, and which will cause some problems coming back, but you'll see what I mean. But you you make a rule, you should try to follow it. But I will kind of follow my rule about going all the way out to the end and then hitting everything as I come back. And I'll show you more specifically what I'm talking about, because you can see it better with this pansy because so many lines cross over each other. So again, I'm picking a color. I'm doing digitizing an open line, and I'm picking a color that is bright enough to see and is not red. Now, I could go all the way down, but I'm not going to do that. Again, I want to try to keep, that can be hit coming back. That's not a problem. So I'm going to, now here is where I should have turned and gone out the leaf, but for some reason, when I did this, I decided to go straight up. It's true, I can hit all of those sections coming back, even going this way. It's just that the nodes will cause some confusion. And you'll see what I mean when I do come back. So this branch goes off to the side. I'm going to hit it now. I could have hit it coming back. And I'm going to hit that one coming back. So I skipped it. Now here again, would have been smart if I had stayed on the outside, but I didn't. So I'm cutting over through the middle. Again, all that large pansy, I will hit it, but coming from a different direction. So here I cross over. And again, I could go down, but again, I can hit all this coming back. So I'm not going to do it now. I'm just going to keep going. And every time I hit a place, you decide which direction you're going to go. And if it can be hit coming back, I skip it. Or I should skip it. And here, I'm going around the outside of this petal. And again, all of these lines that lead into here, I can hit coming back. Remember, I'm going to be coming back along this same path. And I do all right clicks. I don't left click to the curve. I just make smaller clicks. Because I'm doing this on a laptop, and the laptop mouse in the center with that little button, whatever it is, that and I don't get along. So if I had a real mouse hooked to this laptop, I wouldn't be a problem to left or right click, but it is a problem with the layout of this laptop, so I do only right clicking, which works as long as you keep it close. So you see I've gone all the way around the outside. I'm not doing any of the inside ones until I get back to almost to where I began. Now, if I had followed my rule, I would have been following the same path, but coming from the other direction. Now, at a point, do I want to finish this little section here? But if I do, I'm going to reach my original node, and that would confuse me. So no, I'll wait until I get to that spot coming back. I'm just going to keep going around the outside here until I reach that spot where I split off. Now, see, here's where my original path. So now I'm going to start backwards. Now here I reach a three-way point. I can go up or I can go down. If I go up, I'm going to hit the node that along the same path as I was before. And so, but now I can come into the center of the flower. And so I'm going to start and do that. Notice by coming all the way into the center, it's going to fill that center in much better than the automatic digitizing did. Now, this line, the other side of the petal, if I come out here, I'm almost to the point at this point where if I go over one more node, I'm going to be hitting my line. I can hit that coming back. So which way do I go? Like there's three directions. I don't want to hit the one going down. I can hit that coming back. So I'm going to go backtrack along the way that I went and pick up the other side of this petal. And now I can pick up this other line here and back out of it. Now, do I want to go into that pansy or not? I can hit it coming back several different places. It's not that, but I don't want to come up here. That's why I backspaced out of it, because that puts that's going to be too confusing when I come to meet it backwards. So I decided to go the other direction. Leaving an undone line is a marker that I have that I'm following the right path. Notice I skipped that one line in there. I'll hit it coming back. If I hit it now, it would confuse me coming back. I'm not sure if I'm being clear about this, but you want to leave a gap between the one, if possible, the original path where you left the breadcrumbs and the one that you're working on now. So I'm skipping all of those lines that connect with that outside path. When I get to that outside path, I'll do those lines. So here's where I came in. So I'll back out. Now, if I continue ahead on this line, I'm going to meet those nodes, so I backed out. Again, I want to leave gaps. I don't want to go that way because again, I'll hit my original breadcrumbs. So Now I'm questioning which direction I want to go. I'm going to come back out the way that I came in because again, I can hit all of those from the outside. And then back out again. You're constantly going in from your breadcrumb trail and coming back out to it. And this is time consuming, but in all, it really only took about 45 minutes to do the whole thing. I think that included the fill tier too. This the way I want to go is around the leaf, so I want to come in here and do this now. And no, I'm not going to close that now because I'll do it when I hit the petal. When I do the petal, it'll close that. Now's the time to go in and do that. And all these lines that I left here, so that I wouldn't get confused, I can come in and fill now. Just going in and coming out. That section I can do coming out. The other parts of the stem I'm doing now, because I'll be coming back down the other side of the stem. Nope, I changed my mind because it looked like it would get confusing, because I would hit the top, that petal at the top, and that would confuse me. So nope, I'll wait and hit it coming back when I get to the top and come back down. In any place where it's going to touch that, I'm not going to do it now. I like to leave those little gaps just so that I know where I am, where I'm going. So I want to go follow the path up that I came down, and I'll hit that piece when I get to the top of it. Now come down and back up. No, I need, before I do that little piece there, I need to come in here and finish this petal. Now I can do that point. Now I've reached the stem. Now I can go down that stem, and I won't be as confused as if I had come up the stem and hit it here at the top. Now I could have hit each of these coming back, but I chose to do them going down. This is just a short piece, so it's not like I'll forget where I've been. But if you go all the way around, you can so easily forget. Now this is where I came up from the bottom, the other side of the stem. And I'm trying to look at what I still have to finish, which is just the inside of that leaf and this petal here. So I'm going to go over and finish the petal. I'm just checking to make sure that I've covered everything before I go back down to the beginning, that I haven't missed anything. So there's the end of the petal. That leaf was covered on before. Normally that's the way I would have come, and this is why I got confused, because I cut through the middle here, and normally I would have stayed on the outside edge. And that's, my brain is telling me you should be over there, but no, I actually broke my rule and cut across the middle here. And that's why I was confused there, but I remember now. And you can tell by looking at them whether it has two nodes on it. There's two nodes in every place, or only just one line. So I'm on my way back down to the finish line. And right here is where I'm going to make a mistake. I finished this and then I stopped, when actually I need to go around the outside of that leaf. It's only been done once. Now I'm looking at everything, and I will notice that and I'll fix it. And I'll show you how I fixed it. It's not difficult to fix because as I'm looking at it, I can see there's 2 lines everywhere, but there isn't on that one leaf. I'm double checking everything else to make sure that I've hit everything twice. Little areas like that where the node is in the right place, it's very easy to move it. Unlike the automatic digitizing where there are hundreds of nodes on each of these lines. I'll show you that in a minute. Just going through and readjusting a few things. I'm really just checking to make sure that I've hit everything twice. And while I'm doing that, I'm making small adjustments. Now these would sew just as nice. I don't like it when there's too much of a gap, but most of these gaps are about the width of a thread, so they're not going to be really noticeable. So I'm going back to show you the difference. This is what it looks like when you automatically digitize it. See how many nodes there are? And actually sometimes there's even more than that. That's conservative for auto digitizing. It puts it like almost on top of each other. Where when you manually digitize it, you're doing about 1/10 of the number of nodes. Now, so this is, for example, in that stem there, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4 nodes on it, where it would have had like 20 on the other side. These are all the nodes for the whole design. You would have had that many in just one leaf on the other one. So editing is much easier when you manually digitize it than when you auto digitize it. And again, auto digitizing almost always comes up with mistakes. Now I'm looking at the green leaves. I'm changing everything red, though I'm going to probably stop that. I'm change it back.